intelligence agencies began to recognize that women, often sidelined in history, could significantly impact wartime espionage, traditionally a male-dominated field. The Special Operation Executive highlighted this shift, promoting guerrilla warfare beyond conventional battlefields. Women became vital operatives, executing missions with a stealth that men could not match. In occupied territories, they moved unnoticed, easily passing through checkpoints. Some cleverly played into stereotypes, feigning fragility to navigate danger. Historian Juliet Pattinson once said, "Several wartime accounts indicate that male agents were less resourceful and inventive than their female colleagues." These women did more than just collect clandestine intelligence. They served in an invisible war. These are some of the incredible stories of World War II's female spies, their courage, and the terrifying price they paid when captured. Welcome to Historical Digs, where we dig out the secrets from the annals of history. Nancy Grace Augusta Wake, the White Mouse. She was an elusive spy who could never be seized. Born in Wellington, New Zealand on August 30th, 1912, forged into a warrior through her English and Maori heritage, she was raised in the sunburnt lands of Australia. In the 1930s, as the shadow of Hitler's regime spread across Europe, she was living in Marseille with her husband, French industrialist Henri Fioca, when the outbreak of war cast a dark shadow over their lives. With France's fall to Nazi Germany in 1940, she transformed into a vital cog in the Pat O'Leary escape network, orchestrated and led by Belgian commander Albert Guéris and British officer Ian Garrow. As a fierce member of the French resistance, she mastered sabotage operations, coordinated airdrops, and led audacious guerrilla strikes against the oppressors. Displaying limitless courage, she smuggled vital supplies, sheltered Allied airmen, and even secured an ambulance for desperate refugees. However, her growing notoriety forced her to flee to England, leaving behind her husband, who met a tragic fate at the hand of the Nazis. Undeterred by her husband's death, she joined the British Special Operation Executive, continuing her fight alongside the French resistance. Her quick thinking and indomitable spirit allowed her to evade capture, leading to a daring 500-kilometer bicycle journey across occupied France to re-establish contact with the SOE after the destruction of her radio. An incredible feat she completed in just 3 days. In a tale woven with courage and defiance, she pedaled over 300 miles through treacherous Nazi checkpoints, her mission a lifeline of hope. Engaging in fierce battles alongside the resistance, she became a force of nature, even taking the life of an SS sentry with her bare hands. The aftermath of the war saw her adorned with the George Medal from the UK, the Medal of Freedom from the US, the Légion d'honneur from France, and accolades from Australia and New Zealand, making her the most decorated servicewoman of World War II. When she parachuted into the enemy territory, she carried not just a handgun, but also a satin cushion and her beloved red lipstick, a testament to her ferocious and joyous spirit. She once said, "I hate wars and violence, but if they come, then I don't see why we women should just wave our men a proud goodbye and then knit them balaclavas." Although she survived the war, the lingering shadows of danger and the haunting memories of fallen comrades weighed heavily on her, a burden she carried long after the final shots were fired. Unlike many of her peers, Nancy lived to see the war's end. Yet, the emotional scars it left were deep and enduring. This brings us to another remarkable female spy of World War II. But did she survive? Violette Reine Elizabeth Sabo, the Lioness of France. A fearless agent for the SOE, a symbol of defiance, infiltrated Nazi-occupied France as a lone operative. With unwavering spirit, she orchestrated ambushes and gathered intelligence that threatened the oppressors. However, in June 1944, she was captured after a fierce encounter with German soldiers. Her fate uncertain. Born in 1921, Violette was a blend of French and British heritage. Her early life was marked by love and loss, as her marriage to Etienne Sabo ended with his death in 1942, leaving her widowed with their infant daughter. This tragedy ignited her fierce resolve to fight against the darkness threatening her homeland. She mastered skills like parachuting and sabotage, becoming a beacon of hope for the resistance. Her tenacity caught the attention of the British Special Operations Executive, which recruited and trained her as an agent of espionage. In April 1944, she embarked on her first mission, marking the beginning of her legendary role in the war. In June 1944, Violette embarked on her second mission, tasked with orchestrating sabotage in the heart of German-occupied France. What began as a calculated endeavor spiraled into chaos. A fierce gunfight erupted, and in a desperate bid to shield her comrades, she was captured. The Nazis unleashed a torrent of brutality upon her, demanding secrets of the resistance. Yet, she stood resolute, her silence a fierce declaration of defiance against the encroaching darkness. Sabo was imprisoned in Ravensbrück concentration camp, where 50,000 would perish amid the chaos of war. Arriving in late August 1944, she was soon transferred to a punishment camp in Königsberg by the end of October, where prisoners labored in harsh winter conditions to create an airfield. Sabo, seeking refuge from the cold, volunteered for dangerous work in the forest. Each morning, prisoners endured hours of freezing temperatures, many succumbing to the cold in tattered summer clothes. Despite the despair, Sabo held on to hope and dreams of escape. However, in January 1945, 3 British agents were returned to Ravensbrück, where their doom awaited them in the Strafblock, slowly eroding Sabo's once strong spirit. Her destiny was sealed in the cold grip of the Gestapo, where interrogation morphed into a symphony of agony, leading to her deportation from the Ravensbrück concentration camp, where her life was extinguished before the merciless crack of a firing squad. The life that I have is all that I have, and the life that I have is yours, is a famous poem written by the cryptographer Leo Marx during World War II in honor of Violette Sabo. After enduring months of relentless torment, Sabo was thrust into the hellish confines of Ravensbrück, a realm where humanity was stripped away and suffering reigned supreme. Each day was a battle against starvation, disease, and the crushing weight of despair. Yet, Violette's spirit flickered defiantly against the abyss. In the forbidding dawn of early 1945, as the war's end loomed, the Nazis silenced her forever, her life snuffed out at just 23. Though her death was swift, the echoes of her bravery would resonate through the ages. The silence of Violette Sabo reminds us of another phenomenal princess-turned-spy. Noor Inayat Khan, the silent resistance. Noor Inayat Khan severed ties with her noble Muslim lineage. Driven by a fierce desire to showcase the valor of Indian citizens in battle, only to be betrayed in the shadows. Yet, even when cornered, she clung to her secrets with unwavering resolve. Noor Inayat Khan was born in the heart of Moscow, carrying the legacy of her heritage as a descendant of the brave Tipu Sultan. Her life was deeply influenced by the spiritual teachings of her father's Sufi wisdom and the quiet strength of her American mother, shaping her into a figure of both grace and resilience. In the shadows of her youth, music wove through Noor's life like a haunting melody. She spent her days at the Sorbonne, studying psychology, and her nights at the Paris Conservatory, crafting compositions. But the death of her father cast a long shadow, forcing her to shoulder the burden of her siblings' safety, a prelude to the darker chapters that awaited her. As the storm of World War II swept across Europe, the once peaceful Noor found herself drawn into the fray, compelled to rise against the suffocating grip of Nazi tyranny. She enlisted with a British Special Operations executive, where she crossed paths with the invincible Vera Atkins, an intelligence officer who recognized the flicker of courage hidden beneath Noor's gentle exterior. Vera became her mentor, molding her into a warrior for a cause that demanded every ounce of her strength. Noor is believed to have once said, "The light of the divine awareness has risen in my heart, like the sun over the horizon, and it will never set." The training was relentless, a crucible that forged Noor into a master of stealth and sabotage, honing her skills as a wireless operator poised behind enemy lines. Her mission in Nazi-occupied France was fraught with danger, yet her unbreakable resolve kept the lifeline between the French resistance and the SOE alive, even as the Gestapo's menacing presence loomed ever closer. Noor's silence was broken by betrayal when a double agent, René Gary, deceived her. Gary, who led the cinema and phono circuits, posed as a fellow spy, but was in fact working for the enemy, motivated by jealousy over SOE agent Franz Antelme's affection for Noor. It was rumored that she was paid 100,000 francs for her treachery. Although Renee narrowly escaped justice by a slim vote, her actions left a dark stain on Noor's legacy. Despite the Gestapo's iron grip, Noor's resolve remained steadfast. Captured and tortured, she stood as a beacon of defiance. Each escape attempt ended in recapture, but her silence became a testament to her loyalty. After Noor Inayat Khan's capture by the Nazis, she was transferred to Dachau concentration camp alongside other SOE agents. Labeled as highly dangerous, Noor was kept in chains, brutally beaten, and tortured for information. Yet, despite the agonizing torment, she never broke. When her captors realized they couldn't break her spirit, she was sentenced to death. On the fateful day of September 13, 1944, Noor was made to kneel alongside 3 other women. A gunshot through the back of the neck turned her body soulless. Legend claims that just before the fatal shot, a defiant, beaten Noor screamed "Liberté," her final cry for the freedom she had spent her life defending. Her superior, Vera Atkins, who had sent Noor on her perilous mission, was haunted by her death. Atkins vowed to preserve Noor's memory, ensuring the world would never forget her courage. Noor was posthumously awarded the George Cross, honoring the life of a woman who defied her captors to the very end. Our next and final female spy exudes an extraordinary fortitude to defy the odds. Virginia Hall Guayot, the Limping Lady. In the heart of a frozen wilderness, a woman with a wooden leg fled for her life, pursued by the relentless shadows of the Nazis. Virginia Hall's tale is woven with threads of extraordinary fortitude and a determined spirit. Virginia Hall's story begins in the bustling city of Baltimore, Maryland, where she was born on April 6, 1906. From an early age, she showed a fiery determination that would later fuel her extraordinary path. Her journey to becoming one of the most daring spies of World War II took root in the hallowed halls of Radcliffe College and Barnard College, where she sharpened her intellect and set her sights on a future filled with adventure. Born into the comforts of Baltimore's elite, she harbored dreams of diplomacy, yet her aspirations were cruelly thwarted by the loss of her leg in a hunting accident in 1933, leaving her to navigate life with a wooden prosthetic she affectionately named Cuthbert. Rather than succumbing to despair, this adversity ignited a fierce resolve within her, propelling her toward a destiny far beyond the confines of her upbringing. As World War II loomed closer, Hall found her calling with the Special Operations Executive (SOE) in April 1941, infiltrating Nazi-occupied France as a British spy. Under the guise of a journalist, she quickly became a figure of dread among the Nazis, earning the moniker Artemis, a name whispered in fear. To the French resistance, she was known as La Dame qui Boit, the limping lady who orchestrated sabotage missions and forged escape routes, her very presence a thorn in the side of the oppressors. Yet, as the Gestapo's grip tightened in November 1942, the stakes escalated, and Hall was forced to flee, embarking on a harrowing 3-day journey across the snow-laden Pyrenees. Each agonizing step through the biting cold was a testament to her indomitable will, her wooden leg and unwavering spirit propelling her forward as the shadows of her pursuers loomed ever closer. But the saga of Virginia Hall did not conclude with her escape. It transformed into a relentless pursuit of justice. In March 1944, working for the American Office of Strategic Services, or OSS, she returned to France under a new guise. She embraced the perilous role of a wireless operator, a position fraught with danger. She even altered her appearance, filing down her teeth to enhance her ruse to be disguised as an elderly peasant woman. Her audacity and cunning earned her the highest honors, including the Distinguished Service Cross, solidifying her legacy as the most decorated female civilian of World War II. In the annals of history, her name stands not merely as a testament to survival, but as a beacon of courage that defied the darkness of her time. From quiet student to fearless agent, she navigated a world torn apart by conflict, all while evading the Nazis' relentless hunt for her. Eventually, she found a new home in the heart of Washington, D.C., where she continued her covert work with the CIA in 1947, cementing her legacy as one of history's most remarkable undercover operatives. These were not just spies. These were warriors fighting a war of shadows where danger was omnipresent and survival was a fragile dream. Their gruesome tales tell us one thing: courage sometimes demands the ultimate sacrifice. Today, we remember their bravery, their missions, and their tragic fates. These women were more than just footnotes in history. They were forces of nature who refused to be silenced. But their stories remind us that heroism, especially in the face of terror, comes at an unimaginable cost. For many female spies, the greatest threat wasn't the enemy soldiers, but betrayal from within their own ranks. Some were sold out by collaborators looking for a reward, while others fell into carefully laid traps. Those captured faced the unspeakable horrors of Nazi torture. The Gestapo was relentless. Interrogations would go on for days, with agents subjected to electric shock, beatings, starvation, and psychological torment. Many of these women carried cyanide pills, knowing that a quick death was better than falling into the hands of their captors. Nancy Wake, Violet Szabo, Noor Inayat Khan, and Virginia Hall were among those who endured this brutal reality. Yet, they remained defiant, holding on to their secrets until the very end. Thank you for joining us on this harrowing journey through history. If the stories of these courageous ladies of the war moved you, don't forget to subscribe and come back for more history digs.